chapter 6 is going to be called, well, it is called Leah is a Liar. Let's go ahead and just begin with the overview of this chapter. I won't read it all, but you can definitely get my recording of this completely, me reading the chapter, and it's in the upcoming release. So let's just go over some parts of this, right? So I'm going to go ahead and read that first paragraph to just orient ourselves. Leah is good at upsetting people and creating drama and conflict using the tried and true false allegations and accusations of earlier apostates. Yes, all of her claims are not actually hers. They are recycled lines from many years ago, meaning over 40 years ago. This leads to the simple truth that she's a liar, and the facts are easy to prove simply by going through different court documents that lay out all the false accusations made against the church for the past 3 decades. More than that, I just basically, threw it in there, right? So I run into a lot of people, right, that have been tricked, have been conned into thinking that my religion is evil and that life's horrible and everything else, right? For instance, I'm just going to go ahead and give you an example of this occurring and then how I handled it, right? So I was at a disaster site in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I was there as a Scientology volunteer minister. We do a lot of good work. When a man came up to our volunteer minister's tent, right? It's a big yellow tent, asking for supplies, food, refreshments. And as we handed him all of it, he asked us a question. I was shocked that he had heard anything of Scientology, as we are in a state that didn't have a prominent location quite yet. We don't have a church there just yet, right? He asked, "Do you really believe in taking people away from their families?" And I replied with, you must have heard this from Leah, right? And he said, yes. In fact, I was quite appalled at it all. And I said, I bet she uses buzzwords, sound bites, and invented claims to try to fill her pockets and make her more popular. We don't take people away from their families. I am with my family and people who I know who are with other religions, and their family members are Scientologists, and they are still family, and they hang out all the time. He replied with, I knew it was a pile of shit from the beginning of her series. I kept telling my wife, and then she made me give her a chance. We won't be watching her again. Thank you guys for what you're doing here for us all. That's just one instance out of the many that have asked questions about Scientology and what they've heard and immediately made up their own mind based on the truth. That is the example of thinking for yourself based on the truth, right? But it was a complete honor to be there to help with Hurricane Florence in North Carolina. I was not there to proselytize my religion at all. We were there to hand out supplies, be there for the first responders, and most of all, just help whoever we could, right? It was a complete honor. Hearing that from people and getting questions in regards to Leah's lies, it doesn't really upset me anymore, right? It used to, right? I mean, I would have to say a couple of times, what was it, the first 3 times I was like, where are you getting this information from? After I did my research, I found out they're just invented claims that that will always and forever be pushed out by Leah and her posse, right? They're part of the anti-Scientology cults. If you don't know what I'm talking about there, go to the Truth About Apostates overviews, and one of the chapters is called the anti-Scientology cults, and we'll go over all of that. Anyway, basically, in order to really understand why Leah is spreading this stuff, you have to understand that her gigs failed, right? Her career failed. The religion expelled her for her violations and crimes, right? She's not what she says she was, and she's not what she says she is. She did not leave or escape the church. She was expelled for her crimes, wrongdoings, violations of church doctrine, and etc., etc. She wasn't really a Scientologist. She just used Scientologists to make it, to try to make it in the entertainment industry, and she didn't do that successfully, right? She burned a lot of bridges, and as you can see, she doesn't really have a lot of friends. So there it is, guys. Leah is a liar. Go ahead and check out that chapter. It's in Escaping Leah. You can get your copy of it actually on my site, exposingcrimes.com. I can definitely go ahead and give you more and more information about that, and you know, in writing, definitely in this book, chapter 6, Leah's a liar, page 36 to page 40, gives you a pretty fair amount of information on that one. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it, and see you on chapter 7.